People always ask you, what's your why? Yes, what's your why, but then what's your how? It's like a lot of folks will say, oh, my family, my income, but then how are you getting there by saying that? I was the third person hired by Jeremy about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. So I've seen the company kind of grow up and grow. It's been exciting. I'm one of the partners, and I am the president of the company at this time. I'm Ashley Goldberg, and I am ready for my rapid fire questions. Definitely working with people internally and externally. I really like having a new call with a client at a company that either I've never heard of or a company that I have an affinity towards their brand or their restaurant or something like that. So that to me is super exciting externally, and then internally seeing folks on our team develop. I think that's really just awesome and just very rewarding. My 5-year-old, his name is Luca, and he, 9 times out of 10, he's in a fantastic mood. He's prepared, he's curious, he asks questions, and he has more energy than anyone I've ever met in my life, and just a really positive outlook on life. Ooh, I was either 13 or 14, and I worked at the Bagel Inn in Holden, Massachusetts, middle of the state, Holden, Mass. It's this bagel joint that was probably like 2 miles from my house. And I was a bagel slinger. Like, I got up early. I got there at 5 in the morning during the summer. My mom had to drive me, and me and my friend Kelly did it. And we would make the bagels in the morning, and then people would come in and get their bagels and their coffee. And we were off work by, I think, 1, because no one really gets bagels after 1, but the Bagel Inn. I am proud of just speak to myself a little bit, but just being successful as a, I guess, still fairly young-ish, depends who you ask, female. I was able to, even when I first started this position, I didn't really know what I was getting into, what was happening. We were cold calling. Jeremy and Eric were down the hall in this, and I was like, what is going on? But we were able to make it successful and build the company, and I've never been prouder of something. Yellowstone. Easy, safe answer, but absolutely Yellowstone. Probably of all time, my favorite TV show, I am a big Breaking Bad fan. Love Breaking Bad. Walter White. Magnets! Harry Potter. Easy. Done. Hogwarts. I would totally go to Hogwarts. That'd be sick. Meal? Ooh. I am a big fan of just an awesome, a medium or medium rare steak with really greasy, cheesy mac and cheese, and bread with really soft butter, hot bread and soft butter. So I don't have a specific meal, but if I had a last meal, it would consist of those things with an awesome dessert. Oh, everything. I'm a terrible cook. You can ask my family, ask my husband. I can barely make Kraft mac and cheese that my kids will eat. I burn everything, I overcook things, I overcook an egg. If you come over to my house to eat, I will not cook for you, and you'll be thankful for it. Not my thing. That's easy, Jeremy Nazzo. He's been doing this double the time that I have, over 20 years, and he still is one of the first people in the office, usually one of the last people to leave. he's still to this day enthusiastic and passionate about this business. Not saying I'm not, but he brings it every single day in some form or fashion. And that's really commendable and something I'll always look up to. Work hard. Nothing's gonna be handed to you. And be persistent and stay consistent, but work hard. So I used to be a gymnast and a diver. So like, I used to be able to do a bunch of flips before I had kids and my body's getting older, but I'm weirdly great at hot yoga. Like in form and stuff. So it's funny you asked that. I was listening to a podcast the other morning and Bailey and Sophia on my team, I wrote down something for them, but the podcast was about motivation, and it was, people always ask you, what's your why? The podcast went on to talk about, yes, what's your why, but then what's your how? So not only what your why is, like a lot of folks will say, oh, my family, my income, but then how are you getting there by saying that? So what keeps me motivated is having success, not wanting to lose that, and to show my kids that, it takes hard work to get somewhere, and you're not just gonna be handed something, like a lot of folks might think these days, but just, hey, you gotta work your butt off sometimes. Yeah.